We are ready to shed the bit of limitations, which is you.
There's no denying that wrestlers getting kicked out of a faction creates must-see TV, and although in most cases the leader kicks out other members from their faction, there have been a few instances where the founding leader was thrown out by other members. I'm Jeremy, and here are 5 leaders who were kicked out of their own factions. Number 5, Edge. Nobody thought that the rated R superstar Edge would be kicked out of his own faction, the Judgment Day, just a few months after he created the mysterious stable. The Hall of Famer began displaying a darker and more twisted side of himself in the months leading up to WrestleMania 38 in his feud with AJ Styles. Soon after, he welcomed his new disciple Damian Priest and kicked off his faction, the Judgment Day. Then, just a month later, Rhea Ripley followed suit and joined the group at WrestleMania Backlash. Following Hell in a Cell this year, the trio announced a new addition to the faction, and the next day on Raw, Finn Balor joined the Judgment Day. This big surprise came when the former WWE Universal Champion, along with Priest and Ripley, attacked Edge and kicked him out of his own faction. Although they gave their explanation on a recent episode of Raw, it all seems too rushed, and they really didn't lose enough matches to turn against the founding member. Number 4, Wade Barrett. The sky was the limit for the Nexus when the group showed up on an episode of Monday Night Raw in 2010. Wade Barrett led the stable of NXT rookies in launching a takeover in which they attempted to take control of WWE. But the group's popularity seemingly dropped off after their loss against Team Cena at SummerSlam in 2010. The Nexus was formed to elevate Barrett to the main event, but after the faction lost its feud with Cena, during his leadership it was difficult to do so. Barrett did fight for the WWE Championship against Sheamus and Randy Orton, but that didn't do any good to the Nexus. His brutal loss at TLC in 2010 against John Cena further ruined his case. In the early months of 2011, CM Punk was added to the mix and he turned on Barrett to become the new leader of the Nexus. Punk's new Nexus went on to dominate for a few months before it was disbanded around August later that year. Number 3, AJ Styles. Bullet Club is one of the most influential factions outside of WWE. It was founded by Prince Devitt, known as Finn Balor to WWE fans, in the year 2013 within New Japan Pro Wrestling. After Devitt left for the WWE in 2014, the phenomenal one AJ Styles took over and brought immense success to the group by winning the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. However, a young Kenny Omega had his eye on AJ's position, and he orchestrated an attack on Styles with the help of other Bullet Club members, the Young Bucks, Carl Anderson, and Doc Gallows in January of 2016. Styles made his WWE debut at the Royal Rumble a few weeks later, making Omega the new leader of the Bullet Club in Japan. Omega's success in New Japan Pro Wrestling and close alliance with the Young Bucks as the Elite paved the way for what we know today as All Elite Wrestling. Unfortunately, Omega suffered the same fate as Bullet Club Civil War, resulted in Jay White becoming the faction's new leader in 2018. Number 2, Ron Simmons. In the late 1990s, WWE pushed the heel stable Nation of Domination with Ron Simmons as its leader, who brought a lot of success to the group, which also featured Kama Mustafa, D'Lo Brown, Ahmed Johnson, and Mark Henry. Later, The Rock, then known as Rocky Maivia, joined the group, which actually helped preserve his failing career. The Brahma Bull's impressive promos and character work made him the most interesting member of the group right away, and Simmons wasn't too fond of it. WWE eventually took the bold step of having the People's Champ orchestrate an attack on Simmons and take over the group. Other members of the Nation of Domination chose the Young Rock as their new leader and kicked Simmons out. This new persona of The Rock made him an instant success and helped him evolve into the most electrifying man in all of sports entertainment. Number 1, Hulk Hogan. After the founding members of the NWO, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall all came back to the WWE in 2002, they were instantly booked in a feud with two of the biggest stars in the company, Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. In the months leading to WrestleMania in 2002, Hogan embroiled in a feud with The Rock while Steve Austin had to deal with Nash and Hall. As we all know, Hollywood Hulk Hogan walked in as a heel against the Great One at WrestleMania 18 in an iconic match, but as the match progressed, fans cheered for the Hulkster more and more. The battle was eventually won by the Brahma Bull, and the loss of their leader resulted in Hall and Nash attacking Hogan, the grandest stage of them all, kicking him out of the NWO. The Rock returned to the ring to save Hulk, and in the weeks that followed, Hogan and Rock would often team up to take on the new NWO. NWO's plans didn't work, however, as the Hulkster went on to become the WWE Undisputed Champion just a month later, while Nash and Hall continued recruiting new members into the group. Even Shawn Michaels joined the New World Order, but they couldn't save it from getting disbanded in July of 2002.